the dinner, I'm the same man, did. Let's go. I can kick it with a lame ass nigga. Let's go. You ain't with me, you the same as the nigga thinking about my chain, man.
Ayy, it's about time I start breaking them off. Lots of thotties who begging to fuck me, but I ain't got time to start breaking them off. Let's go. Only bought it cause it was a ticket. I can't even spell the design I bought it. Put a dick in the Glock and knock out your mouth. Pussy boy better watch how you talk. I'ma show him, he said I ain't with it. Hey, my gun out the window, can't go like no bitch. If you sending some shots, I'ma shoot back.
Yo, what is going on, my wonderful but amazing viewers? It's your boy YOOOO Gaming's back with another video. Now look, man, before we get straight into it, I like to start by saying thank you for all my current and new viewers taking the time of their day just to stop by. It helps out the channel, so really, thank you. In this video, I will be going over all the loadouts that I have relating to Earth's single target, range, and melee, showing you guys what artifacts are most usable, most needed, and what you guys should personally go for within your loadout. Also going over the power as a whole, speaking about if the power is worth switching to. Overall, there's a lot to speak about within this video, but still, if you guys can just do me a quick favor, hit that like button, possibly comment or subscribe. Hitting the like button helps out the channel a lot more than you guys think. It allows us to reach out to newer people, and on top of that, possibly go in the comment section, start a conversation because I reply to all the comments. But still, let's get straight into the video. Okay, so for starters, the first loadout we will go over is range. Now, a lot of people do like to talk about range, if Earth even has a range loadout. Now, we are using Debris Field and Reinforced, Upheaval, and Sandblast. Finally, we are using Entombed, which Neovenom would possibly be a better choice, and we are using Crystal, which you can use for bot sidekick if you would like. As for weapon, you should only use 1 point, and honestly I would prefer rifle just because it does AoE damage with its weapon tap. As for the iconics, we only have 2 points, which you can use heat vision if you would like, especially if you have the solar amp on 200, or you can use for bot sidekick. As for the stat tree, max the top 2 and put the rest into your might and power. Also, if you have any leftovers, go into precision just because we are using the rifle. Now, starting with the rotation, the main 3 artifacts that we are going to be using are the strategist card, the transformation card, and of course the amulet. Now keep in mind with using the amulet, I would prefer you guys to use it mainly because you are using Sandblast within the loadout. With using Upheaval, you are going to be gaining stacks with the amulet really quickly, which makes your Sandblast do a lot of damage. So if you would like to actually use the Lamort card, that wouldn't be a bad choice at all, mainly because if you are on ads, or even if you're using this loadout on a boss fight, you'll be doing a lot of damage with your Sandblast. Now, for those who don't actually have the amulet but have the solar amplifier, the solar amplifier wouldn't be a bad choice at all. Most will actually use this, matter of fact, because it gives you a lot more might for your character, and now to this day most people use heat vision in all their loadouts, so it's not like it's a bad thing to do, but it's just a really good move that fits into just about anything. Speaking about the damage now, Sandblast was averaging well over 100 Ks every parser, which is really good, especially on 3 ads. Now going into the heat vision loadout, there's technically no difference from heat vision and Sandblast as far as how they're used. As far as the whole concept of heat vision, I would suggest that you hit it as soon as it's off a cooldown. The purpose of Sandblast was to keep on using Upheaval until you had 10 stacks with the amulet. Now since you are using heat vision with the solar, you can just continuously. For those debating on switching to this power, I understand there's much to take in, but I'll try to explain everything that most people are possibly curious about. For starters, you shouldn't need to worry about Earth's single target damage or even its performance in Elite. Although Earth is a melee power, comparing its single target damage powers like Hardlight or Rage, it can outperform Rage's single target, and as for Hardlight, it may give it a good run, but at the same time, it's not going to be left behind. As for artifacts recommended for this power, honestly I would just suggest the transformation card at most, just because it gives you that extra crit damage and crit rate, but at the same time, most people will go the strategist card and even the solar, just because the solar gives you that might, and on top of that, the strategist card gives you that proc for crits. Some alternative artifacts you can run are the EOG, Scrap of the Soul Cloak, and the Transformation card. And although some people may not have all artifacts at 200, Earth isn't a power you need 200 artifacts at. So like I said earlier, if you are considering switching to this power, please consider all this I just said. Now we are covering Earth's single target loadout, and for starters, let's go over the moves. We have Heat Vision and Upheaval, Sandblast and Breath's Field, Neovenom, which you can run Entombed if you would like, and Crystal. As for weapon, we have 1 point in our one-handed, but since we are using a boss loadout, you can run rifle and just put 1 point for the weapon taps as well. Finally, max the top 2 and put the rest into your might and power. As for artifacts, we are running the strategist card, transformation card, and also the amulet. I was switching between the amulet and the solar amplifier, debating on which was better, and personally I found that the amulet was way better as far as maximizing boss damage, and if you want to maximize AoE damage, then feel free to let the full animation of heat vision go off. For me, getting a groove of the rotation was a bit weird, but the way I got the groove was just popping the bridge field, hitting upheaval 4 times, and then hitting it 2 more times, going into my heat vision. After heat vision, I go directly into my sandblast. After catching a groove of the rotation, my numbers started going higher and higher, and finally, I'm hitting high 60s. So overall, my damage is looking nice, but still, I'm going to let this clip play out. Now let's speak about Earth's melee loadout. Up front, the main 3 moves that anybody would normally use in a melee loadout are Jackhammer, Unstoppable, and Tectonic Break. Being honest, using these 3 moves alone does more than enough damage, especially if you are using the transformation card, Scrap of the Soul Cloak, and to your choice the amulet or the solar amplifier. As I stated earlier, Earth isn't a power where you are recommended to have artifacts, especially at rank 200. A common artifact set that most people tend to use is actually EOG, Transformation, and Scrap of the Soul Cloak. Getting into the EOG loadout, EOG spamming is really fun with Earth, especially if there's a healer inside the raid that's spamming with their EOG. Now most may wonder, what is the point of running EOG with Earth? I personally say it's because it throws out damage a lot quicker than your superpowers would, and on top of that, it doesn't scale off of your might stat or your precision stat. Now when it comes down to supercharge, you can actually pick 25% of supercharges like Bloom or Speed Drain that actually do a lot of damage for a small cost. So it depends on what supercharge you want to run, but overall it still does a lot of damage. As for gear mods, these are the main ones that I am running with. Important pieces to consider are obviously your helmet and legs, but I will also consider the chest piece. With the helmet you can run Neo Venom or Entombed, or even Critical 3 for the weapon mod. For legs I would recommend Striking Stones, and finally, for my chest I would recommend Core Strength, just because you cannot stack the Scrap of the Soul Cloak and Extended Supercharge. Okay, so that is going to do it for the video. Once more, I hope you guys have all made it to the very end. I hope you guys have all learned something throughout the video. Head in the comment section, let me know what I forgot to include within the video or what I could have included differently. Don't forget to hit the like button and share content just so videos like this can continue to happen. Above all else, head in the comment section after you guys are done watching the video and testing out the loadout and let me know how you guys were doing with it. But besides that, take care and have an amazing day.